but this video is going to be focused more on the comparison, the head-to-head. I actually think that this is a much better sauna. Hey, it's Alex here from alexfergus.com, and right now I'm standing in between two saunas. On my left, I have the Clearlight Premier sauna, and on my right, the Sunstream Evolve sauna. Now what I'm going to do today is compare these two saunas head to head. I'm going to look at their EMF levels, I'm going to look at the materials used in these saunas, I'm going to look at pricing and features and accessories and everything else you need to know if you are looking at buying one of these saunas, or you just want to buy one of the best infrared saunas on the market. Now these two saunas are very popular in the biohacking and wellness space. Both saunas have some extraordinary or great claims, I guess, around the EMF levels, around materials used, and around how they've built these saunas, claiming to be, you know, the healthiest, safest saunas you can use. Yeah, like I said, they're quite popular. So I wanted to do a comparison. I am fortunate enough to own both of these saunas and have them here in my home with me today. I have done some pretty detailed reviews on the Evolve Sunstream sauna, so if you want to learn more about that, be sure to check out the video and my blog over at alexfergus.com. Otherwise, just type in Alex Fergus Sunstream sauna review and you will find that. But this video is going to be focused more on the comparison, the head-to-head. As usual, hit subscribe below, give me a thumbs up, and be sure to check out some of my other videos. But for now, let's get into this comparison. So first up, we're going to look at the materials used in these saunas. Now Sunstream have used basswood timber in their sauna frame. Now they also only use this timber in the full design of this sauna. Why does that matter? Well, when I look at the Clearlight sauna soon, you're going to see that they actually use a variety of timbers. So this is great from Sunstream's point of view, and basswood has been shown to be one of the lowest hypoallergenic woods that you can use. Plus it's a great wood for saunas, has some antimicrobial properties and doesn't stain when you're perspiring on it as well, which is great. Let's take a quick look inside. Now you can see here all the seats and even the shield slats from the panels use that same basswood material. Even the accessories, the bottle holder, brushes, all made from basswood, which is great. Smell wise, it is nice, but it's not quite as good as cedar. Now the only thing that's not basswood are these backrest supports. These I believe are cedar. They come with the sauna. Obviously if you are sensitive to cedar like some people are, then you just simply don't use those. No issue at all. But one thing what I want to do is show you what's on top of the sauna. Now when we look down on the sauna, we can see that again the same material is used, the same basswood material. Why is this a big deal? Well, on my left here I've got the Clearlight sauna. Now when we look on top of the Clearlight sauna, we can see particle board has been used. In fact, when you get inside you can see a lot of particle has been used. The Clearlight sauna on the outside and even internally is made of cedar. Now this is the more expensive option. You can get Clearlight saunas made in basswood as well. So that is great because basswood is, like I said, the healthier timber to use. Though cedar personally I think has a better look and a better smell. But if you're coming at this from a health point of view, basswood is what you want. When we take a look inside the Clearlight sauna, we can see the same cedar paneling, the darker red cedar paneling. Down the bottom there you do have a ceramic tile. Now when I installed this Clearlight sauna, not only did I notice the top had that plywood, was it plywood or MDF particle board, but underneath also had the same. Now I'm not too sure what's going on in the walls in this sauna, whether it also has plywood, but this is our big concern. Now why is that the case? Well, if you've read my article on like everything you need to know about infrared saunas and my infrared sauna buyer's guide, you'll know that particle board, MDF, plywood, all these woods use glues and bonds and various chemicals in their processing when they make them. Now sitting inside a sauna, it's a high heat environment. These toxins, these chemicals all can off gas and enter the air that you're sitting in the box, right? In the sauna box. And of course you can breathe these in. Now I've written an extensive article on why toxins can cause fat gain. I'll link to that below. But it's not just the fat gain you should be worried about, it's the stress on the body. You know, it's another toxin load when you want to be in a sauna trying to be healthy, right? So personally, I'm gonna say that the Sunstream sauna is better on this front from a timber point of view, just because their whole sauna is made from 100% natural basswood. Clearlight, yes, you can get in basswood or cedar, but either option you choose, you're gonna get that particle board, MDF, plywood, ceiling, likewise underneath, and I'm not too sure what's going on in the walls there as well. So that is a concern. Now what about glues? Most sauna companies use glues, alright? I think there might be one sauna company out there, very expensive, pretty much handmade sort of stuff, that doesn't use glues. But most sauna companies use glues. And no, that's not a bad thing. The only issue is what type of glues that they use, because again, these glues are going to off gas, especially with heat. You're sitting in a confined space. You know, not ideal to be breathing in toxic fumes. Now, Sunstream use FDA approved food grade quality glues. So yes, technically that means it can be used around foods. I'm not going to be licking the joins or anything like that, but it is nice to know it is FDA approved glue. Clearlight also use non-toxic glue. I don't know exactly what that is, but they claim it is a non-toxic glue. Again, I personally don't see the glues being the biggest issue. I think it's more the bigger concern should be the timber used, because that is a much larger surface and volume. But both of these companies say they use safe glues. Next up, we're going to look at the heater panels. Now behind me, I have the door of the Sunstream Evolve. I open the door up and you can see how big that panel is, which is really cool. It's something we're going to compare with the Clearlight shortly. Now Sunstream use what's called nanocarbon technology heater panels. Clearlight use the carbon heater panels, but they don't have this nanotechnology. I don't personally know too much about this whole nanotechnology that Sunstream use. They have a little bit on their website, you can check that out, sunstreamsaunas.com. I do know though that I sweat very fast when I'm in one of these saunas, the Sunstream saunas, and I feel like I sweat deeply as well. The same can be said about like a deep sweat in the Clearlight, but I definitely think, well, I definitely know, having used both these saunas side by side on alternative days in the past few weeks, I definitely know that I seem to sweat faster in the Sunstream sauna. So there is more heat coming through. But another thing it could be to do with the heater placements. Now I'm going to stand up there. You can see Sunstream use what they call a 360-degree heater placement in their sauna. What that means is you're getting exposed to the infrared light from all sides, the 360 degrees, obviously all on the back, on the side, and then when I step in front, inside, you see the panel in front of you. So that is the 360 degrees, which is great. Not only that, they also have a panel on the floor, so you have heat coming up, and you're gonna go upside down here. They also have a heater panel shining on the back of your legs. So that's a lot of heater panels, right? Another thing I should mention is their heater panels are shoulder height and lower, which is great. That's what you want in a sauna. You don't want the heater panels, specifically infrared heater panels, shining on the head. Not only is that potentially dangerous to the head and not ideal from a performance point of view, but a lot of lost energy is wasted. A lot of that light is simply going to be heating the air, which is not how infrared saunas work. You want the infrared rays hitting the body, right? So from a heater placement point of view, you're literally surrounded in sauna in heater panels, which is great. So now we're going to have a quick look at the Clearlight sauna and the heater panel setup in there. First thing you'll notice is the heater panels are on the side, on the back, and a little bit on the front. They don't have that full size heater panel on the front door that Sunstream has, but as this is a 3-man sauna, it is slightly wider. They do have 2 inbuilt wall heater panels there, and they do have one on the back of the shins, on the calves there. They don't have one on the floor for your feet, but they do have one on the side. So from a lower limb point of view, I'm gonna say it's different, but it's similar. I mean, you're getting the side heat, but you're not getting the feet from the ground up. You are getting it from behind. From the front though, it's definitely different. Again, you can be sitting over in front of this panel and you will get some exposure, though that is quite low in comparison to the side panels. This front heater panel is very narrow. Now I know the new Clearlight, I believe they're called Sanctuary saunas, come with 2 of these side by side, so you are getting a wider treatment area. However, these heaters are different to these heaters. These are your nanocarbon, your carbon heater panels. This, I believe, is a halogen heater. Now, this is actually a full spectrum heater. These are just fire infrared heaters. Now, there's a lot of debate around this topic, but my takeaway is that fire infrared heater technology is all you need and all you should want in infrared sauna. The near infrared, the mid infrared are not necessarily beneficial, and in fact, the near infrared in a high heat environment such as a sauna could be damaging. So I think this is a bit of a gimmick. It was an optional extra when I got this sauna. You know, you had to pay extra to get this. I regret that decision now, but if you didn't have this, it would just be a blank door, and obviously there's no light coming onto the front of the body unless you're sitting in front of one of these small panels. So here in the Clearlight, if you get this panel, then you're getting a full spectrum panel that personally I think is unnecessarily, and there is some data to show that it could be dangerous. So that's enough about the wavelengths. Now the other thing I want to talk about is the positioning. Now remember, in the Sunstream sauna they had that 360 degrees technology, layout I guess, and the heater panels were shoulder height and below. The first thing we can see in here is that the heater panels are shoulder height and below, which is great, and it is the same on the side. Like I said, the front panels are slightly lower, so you're really only getting from your belly button and below, but because they don't have the full wraparound on the front, you can't technically get full 360 degree coverage. Another thing I should mention, if you're in a sauna with someone else, so if you are getting a 3-man or a 2-man sauna and someone else is sitting next to you, then even if the sauna has 360 degree technology or layout in it, you're not going to get that full exposure, are you? Because there's going to be someone else blocking that light. And this is the case for why I actually like the small one-man or even a 2-man sauna, doing sauna sessions on your own. So this is what my wife and I do. I'll do a session. On the topic of blocking light though, this is something else I want to compare between these 2 saunas. Now, here you see the Clearlight panel, heater panels have this inbuilt wooden structure, and that is so to stop you from getting burnt. So if you lean against it, there are wood protections here. But it also has this mesh. Now I believe it is like a metal mesh. Yeah, it actually is. I just scratched it a little bit. Whoops. Now that's made of metal. Now they do that to block electric EMF fields. Now this is something I'm going to compare shortly, so we'll get to that soon. But the downside of this mesh, even though it's quite fine, it is actually blocking a little bit of the rays. Ideally you would have an open surface there, so all those rays are coming right through. Likewise with these slats, those slats are blocking light rays as well. Again though, you kind of do need something here to maximize the rays, to protect you from coming into contact with that heater panel and burning yourself. So I understand that, but it's just something to keep in mind. Every time you put something there, whether it's a back support or this mesh fiber or more slats, you're reducing the amount of light that hits the body. So this is true for all the panels. Alright, so I'm inside my Sunstream Evolve sauna. Now again, you see the same wooden slats. I get that, that's cool, it's to stop you from burning. But the other thing you'll notice is there is no mesh, there is no fabric, there is no protection or anything blocking the EMF levels from this sauna. Sunstream have been able to do this because they've re-engineered these heater panels so that there is no EMF or ELF coming out of these panels. That means they don't need to use the mesh that the Clearlight sauna have, which means more light can hit the body and less of it is blocked from meshes, which is great. Another cool thing is these wooden slats come off. They have little magnets in them. You can see one there in the corner, and they simply click on to the wall. So that does mean if you're in here on your own and you're not even getting close to that wall, for instance, you could remove that whole wooden slat panel and even further maximize how much light is being absorbed from the body. So overall, I'm going to have to say that the Sunstream sauna has the better panel positioning, simply because of their large far-infrared only front panel and the full wraparound plus lower body panel setup, and the fact that they don't have any mesh covering blocking any of that precious far-infrared that we want, plus the fact that you can remove those wooden slats, definitely makes it the better panel setup out of these two saunas. Alright, I have here my electro smog meter by Cornet. Now this model is the ED88T model. There is a newer version out which is slightly bigger screen, and I'm sure it's better in some other way. I will put a link to this meter below. It tests 3 types of EMF. It measures electric fields, magnetic fields, and microwave fields. Sorry, I had a quick mind blank there, which is great. That covers all the important measurements. When it comes to non-native EMF, the other cool thing about this device is you see that traffic light system on the side there. What that does is shows you how safe the current reading is on the body. Now I've programmed mine into the building biology standards, which is a very strict standard, meaning that what may have been safe on another device could be dangerous on my device based on how strict the building biology guidelines are. So what I'm going to do is test both these saunas for all 3 metrics, and then see who has the better EMF scores. Now I've actually done a full video on testing the Sunstream Evolve sauna on all 3 metrics, so I'm not going to go and redo that again right now. I'll put a link to that video below, or check it out on my channel. Just search for Sunstream EMF testing and you can watch that full video. I do have the figures here in front of me though. So for electric fields, there was no change, absolutely no change from when I turned the sauna on or off, which is amazing. And that's right up against the wooden slats, as if, you know, pretty much the measurement it would be on my back. So no electric field, which is great because it doesn't even have any mesh covering. So whatever I've done on an engineering point of view has worked. Microwave was 0 as well. There was no difference for when I turned the sauna on or off. Now one thing with the microwave here is the Sunstream sauna, like the Clearlight sauna, they have Bluetooth built in, so you can enable Bluetooth, and that means you can play your music and videos through these Kenwood speakers up there, which is great. However, you can get up top and disable the Bluetooth. I personally haven't done that because even with it on, there's no detectable EMF issue, which is great. And now the big one, the magnetic field. So this is like the dangerous ELF fields, which can do a lot of damage to the body. Now the reading for that was very, very, very low. It was 0.04 microteslas, which is non-existent almost. I mean, it was still in the safe range on my super strict meter, and that was pretty much like an inch off the panel. So that is great. I'm inside my Clearlight sauna, my Clearlight Premier sauna. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on my electro smog meter, and I am going to do some testing. Alright, first up we will test the microwave fields. First up we're going to test the microwave fields. This is the baseline with the sauna off. You can see it is pretty much on rock bottom 0 and it is a nice green safe zone. We're going to put the sensor up. So we're going to turn the sauna on now, turn it on full heat. And you see a little bit of movement there, but we're still at exactly the same point, which is also in the green. So that is great. From a microwave point of view, there is no issue here. I should also mention that the Clearlight system, I think I touched on this before, you can pull out something in the breaker switch and that will disable Bluetooth as well if you are concerned about that. But as you can see here, there was nothing to be worried about. Alright, next up, we're going to look at the electric field. So I'm turning the sauna off. We're going to get our baseline, which is about 8, 9, which is also in the green there. Alright, and the sensor for this is at the top, so I'm going to position that like so. Alright, hopefully you can see that there. We're about 8 or 9. I'm going to turn it on now. You see a little bit of movement there, up to 12, back down to 8, 12. So there is a little bit of movement. Just move it up a bit so you can see it easier. 14 was the highest I saw there, but all of those readings are in the green. If I push it right up against the panel, well, you can see what happens there. It is very, very high. But then I pull it back just a centimeter, like a half an inch, and we're back down to the safe zone. So that's cool because if you're sitting up against these panels, that's as far in as you're going to go, and that is perfectly safe. If you go right up though, we're in the red. Now that was interesting because the Sunstream sauna didn't do that even if you went right up against it. But the fact that the Clearlight does this doesn't matter too much because you're not going to be right up against the panel. I'll just test one of the back ones as well. Yeah, same reading. So that is good news as well. Alright, last up we'll test the magnetic field. Alright, the magnetic field baseline is 0.03. Alright, and the sensor's on this side, so I'm going to position that as so. Ignore the movement there, it's just when I move the sensor changes. Alright, so 0.03. I'm going to turn it on. And we actually see that jump up to 0.12, which is in the orange zone. It's low in the orange, but it's still in the orange, which means cautious, not ideal. It's actually a little bit higher as I move it across. 18.2, 16 if I come up a bit. Oh, 0.53, 0.48. That's interesting. So there must be different points where it's slightly higher. Yeah, but it's sitting in the orange. So it was flicking in the orange there. I held it at 0.04. So remember, to put this in perspective, the Sunstream sauna was 0.04. This is 0.40, well, where I held it. On average, it was probably 0.25. That was a little bit higher in some places and a little bit lower. So that's still 5-6 times higher than the Sunstream sauna, and most importantly, that was in the orange setting. I'm going to turn that off now and you'll see it drop down. So it's back down to green, even if I go right up against it. This thing's so sensitive, when I move it, you will get a spike, but when you hold it still. But it's very interesting, and pretty much if you're wanting a sauna that has the best, pretty much no EMF issues, then the Sunstream Evolve trumps the Clearlight sauna. In fact, I don't think anything can beat those numbers on the Sunstream. They were all rock bottom and in the green zone on here, which is great. So if EMF, non-native EMF is a concern of yours, and it should be, I think it is definitely it is something we need to spend more time on, more time looking at, especially when you're spending $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on an item you're going to use multiple times a day in the name of health. Then yeah, like I said, Sunstream is the winner here. Though I have to admit that this sauna is still pretty good. It is definitely one of the better saunas from an EMF point of view, because I have tested some that have been absolutely shocking, you know, reds, oranges across the board for all readings, especially electric field. So you're doing pretty good with this. If you have one of these saunas, you know, I wouldn't freak out and be like, oh my god, I can't use it, it's dangerous. No, not at all. And even the orange level we were at was still on the low side, so it wasn't like it was a high orange, it was actually a low orange. So that is really good. But if you're in the market and you want to get the better sauna, especially from the EMF point of view, then go with the Sunstream sauna, which I have over there. Alright, before we finish and look at price, I wanted to touch on a few other things, such as the accessories and features in these saunas. So the Sunstream Evolve sauna that I'm in right now, you got a bunch of cool things, such as the aromatherapy above me, which I can turn on here, and have various lights, which is cool. It also comes with a bunch of very neat stuff, including aromatherapy holder, which simply hangs on a bracket like so. Put essential oils in there. Remember, this came free with the purchase. A bottle or a cup holder, which you simply screw on to the wall wherever you want it, which I haven't done yet in this sauna. It came with a brush for lymph drainage. Also came with a sauna hat with the Sunstream logo. And it also came with this very neat foot bench, which I'll try it. Hold up here. Which actually makes, which actually gives you a little bit more bench space, you know, somewhere else to put your magazine or drink bottle. You also get the cedar backrest, which is actually really, really cool. Because with Clearlight, the backrest was a couple $100 extra, which was unfortunate, because I think all saunas you should have a backrest, and it's just so much more comfortable, especially because these wooden slats get so hot, and you don't want to put a towel over it because the towel will block all the infrared rays. So yeah, backrests I think are an essential item, and the fact that it comes included with the Clearlight price is great. You also get internal lights in here, which is pretty standard. So Clearlight, not quite as good. I didn't get any free accessories like brushes or towels or even a drink bottle holder, which is a shame, because it means you just put everything either on the floor or on the bench. There is aromatherapy options, or color therapy options, sorry, in the Clearlight. Personally, you know, I don't really buy into that too much. Well, I don't use it, sorry. I do believe in the power of color and light, but we won't get into that today. The Clearlight sauna has an external panel and internal, so you can control the panel and see how long's left from the outside of the sauna. The Sunstream only has one, which is this one behind me, and that is internal. You know, that's not a deal breaker, but you know, some people might be like, oh, that sucks. But from a feature point of view and accessory point of view, the Sunstream Evolve sauna definitely comes out and on top. Alright, last up we're going to look at price. Now, I can't do a direct comparison between these two saunas, because the Sunstream Evolve that I have next to me is only a 2-man, and the Clearlight Premier is a 3-man. So it's not fair to compare the prices of those. Instead, what I did is I pulled up the prices from each company's website and compared the respective 2- and 3-man saunas. Now, a few things. If you mention my name, Alex Fergus, you will get a deal and or freebies and or something to sweeten the your offer when you do purchase either of these saunas. So if you head over to sunstreamsaunas.com, you know, just tell them that Alex Fergus sent you and you'll get some freebie. Likewise with Clearlight sauna. Alright, now that varies based on location, you know, what country you're in, so I can't say it's a blanket like certain percent off, but I do recommend using my name if you're going to buy one of these saunas, and that may sweeten the deal and you get a better price as well. So for a 2-man sauna in the Clearlight range, now Clearlight have a few options here. Like I said, you can get the cedar timber or you can get basswood. Basswood's actually cheaper. They also have 2 models. They have the Premier, which is what I've got, and the Sanctuary. Sanctuary has a lot more glass on the top, glass all on the front. It comes with 2 panels on the front, I believe. And I'm not too sure what the other differences are. I personally don't like all the glass. I mean, I feel like you lose a lot of heat through it, but some people like the look of it. This is the Premier one. So depending on what model you go with and what timber choice, the price does vary. But so the 2-man ranges from $4,500 right up to $6,000 plus for a 2-man. All right, so that's quite a range. You know, there's a big difference there. Again, that depends on what model and what timber you choose, but $4,500 for their base 2-man product. Sunstream, on the other hand, they have two-man models. The cheapest is $3,600 and the more expensive one is closer to the $4,000 price range. So that's a huge difference. I mean, even if you get the most expensive Sunstream 2-man sauna, it's still cheaper than the cheapest lower price Clearlight sauna, which is kind of crazy. Now you got to remember as well that the Sunstream sauna had better building materials. There were no plywood or anything, had lower EMF, had the full 360-degree panel set up, the bigger panel on the front, the free accessories, and you know, like the free included gifts in the stool, the bench, and the free backrest support. So if you get a backrest with Clearlight over here, you pay another $200 on those already relatively high prices. So if you're looking for a 2-man sauna, I mean, yeah, my money's on Sunstream. Now when it comes to 3-man saunas, which is another popular size, which is why I included that here today, Clearlight, their base model starts at $4,900. These are US dollars, by the way, and goes up to $6,700. The 3-man sauna from Sunstream is $4,500. So a lot cheaper again. I mean, you could get a 3-man Sunstream for the same price as you could get the basic rock bottom entry level 2-man Clearlight. So yeah, I mean, you have to think that this is probably where your money is going to go if you're looking between both of these saunas, right? And if you think I'm biased or something because I'm affiliated with Sunstream, I'm also affiliated with Clearlight. So you know, I've got both saunas here. I'm just telling you how it is. I actually think that this is a much better sauna, and based on all the data I've showed you today, I'm sure you're agreeing that that is the case as well. Again though, if you own one of these and you've never heard about Sunstream, and you know, you weren't planning on buying another sauna for another 15 years or so, look, I wouldn't rush out and put this on eBay and upgrade a new one. I mean, it's just a lot of stress and a lot of you know, having to package everything up and all that, like dealing with buyers and sellers and whatnot to get something that's, you know, better, but it's not like 20 times better or anything. One final thing before I wrap up: warranty and shipping. So pretty much these are standard for both companies here. Generally it's free shipping to the main centers, especially in America and Canada. You can even probably get free shipping if you're in Australia and New Zealand, though don't quote me on that. Though if you mention my name, you might, like I said, chances are you'll get a better deal. And warranty, it's lifetime warranty for both of these saunas, so you got no issues there. I don't know what else to say. I hope this video has helped you make an informed decision. My phone is ringing, so I'm going to run. But be sure to hit like, subscribe, and head over to my blog to read all my detailed reviews. Bye.